What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Epic 7 video. We have the August 3rd patch preview. A lot of this is recap, right? We already got announced a few days ago the double collaboration of both Guilty Gear and ReZero. So ReZero is not listed here. Just remember, it is coming out the following week. So start to try. We'll touch on it in this video a little bit, but start, seeing how many bookmarks you have, how many you can get in the next couple to 3 weeks. And then see who you really want, because guys, there's actually another limited unit that they're adding in here. So we're gonna have like 10 limited units in the span of 2 to 3 months. You won't be able to get everything if you're super new and free to play, right? So I'll try to help you guys, show the pros and cons of each unit as we go along. I'll touch on it a little bit in this video, but let's go ahead and just hover through all the new stuff coming in this upcoming patch. So we have the Guilty Gear collab. Don't forget ReZero next week as well. Side story rerun for the Guilty Gear, obviously. And it's interesting. This is actually pretty important here, guys. The Epic 7 Guilty Gear is going to be a limited custom group summon. So they're actually going to pair them all together. I'm not sure. I wonder if the custom group summon will include all 4. Typically, guys, if you're new and you haven't tried a custom group summon, you choose 3 characters, right? And then you can summon, you have a chance to summon any of the 3 plus any of the 3 artifacts. Off-banner artifacts are still included, but I'm wondering, since there's only 4 Guilty Gear characters, not including Soul Bad Guy, I wonder if maybe they'll throw all 4 in the same pool, which is kind of a lot. But overall, guys, if you're brand new and you don't own any of the Guilty Gear characters, this is actually very nice. You have a chance of getting like double dipping and getting like multiple characters. It's going to be a coin-based system where that's how you're going to work your pity, and there also have some discounted artifacts included in that you can purchase with those coins. It sounds confusing, but when it comes out, we'll talk more about it in detail. It's not as confusing once you actually do it yourself. Google Play Beta is up next. Forge Your Epic Gear, finally, man. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this. It's been so long, guys. So essentially, they promised us 2 pieces of gear that we get to customize the substats and roll, pick 3 of the substats and then 2 of the substats. So we get to pretty much pick and roll our own gear perfectly, but it's taken so long, man. The first piece of gear took so long to just finally get, and this one, there was a long break in between, so finally it's coming. For 2 pieces of gear, man, it took a grand total of like 6 to 9 months. Absolutely crazy. Book of Memories for Caesarea, it looks like, right? And then draft mode update. Okay, that's cool. Anything else on there? August balance adjustments, which we already covered, guys. It's more of a mild balance patch. Guild War schedule. So new Guild War coming out. Okay, and that's it. So let's just go through this quickly, guys. And then at the end, we'll talk about the new characters, bookmarks, spending, all that stuff. Soul Bad Guy, of course, he's the free one. Bikin up next. Queen of Banshee Farming. Dizzy used to be the Queen of Control. Sorry, I don't mean to be pausing on these kind of screens, but Dizzy, Queen of Control. Not quite as good as she used to be. Other units are a little bit better for that department. Elfelt, who, same thing. She can be very good, but kind of outclassed in certain scenarios. Not primarily used by a lot of players, but people that dedicate to her to their drafts, she can be very good. Don't get me wrong by any means. And then Jacko is probably the best overall collaboration unit between this and ReZero included, just because she got some recent buffs that make her very strong. I'll touch more on all those in detail in just a second. I want to talk about something real fast though, guys. Even if you're a veteran player and you realize, right, that besides Jacko, the rest aren't really top tier or meta by because they've, other units have kind of taken their place. Don't forget, we had the Milim plus Shuna exclusive equipment. So any of these units could get an exclusive equipment. And Dizzy, who I said, hasn't been in the top spot for control. If she gets an exclusive equipment, guys, let's say, for example, it strips a buff on like skill 3, she might be insane. So not only that, but Jacko got buffs. So all these units could also be on the balance patch list as well in any future upcoming content balance patch. So you want to try and pick up the characters that you can, even if right now they aren't the strongest. I know it's tougher said than done. I'll try to help you guys narrow down where you're going to spend your bookmarks. But side story for the Guilty Gear, Scales of Juno. And then here's the custom group summon, which don't forget, right, guys? They're going to round them all up, and you're going to get a chance to summon all of them. The more that you're missing out on, the better it is for you. If you need to target only one, it kind of sucks getting the other units that you don't want, but don't forget, there is still a pity system with the coins for that. Next up is the Google Play Games Beta, which is not a dedicated client, guys. I saw a lot of people get mistakenly think that this was a dedicated client, but it's just Google Play's version of an emulator. Maybe it's actually really good, so try it out if you want when it comes out. But I've heard that the reason that Epic 7 can't get a dedicated client like games like Honkai Star Rail, like a lot of other gacha games out there, is because they use the unit engine, so it'd be a lot harder to run it on a dedicated client rather than, using we have to play on emulators or on our phones. If you guys are in like game development or anything, let me know if that's true, but it makes sense logically, right? Moving along, I talked about the 4-gear epic gear. So last time we had the left side gear, weapon, helmet, and chest. Now we have the ring, necklace, and boots. And guys, if you don't know anything about this, please watch my video. I cover this in great detail. If you're a veteran player, you already know probably who you're crafting this for. You have a specific unit in mind. But if you don't have anyone in mind, or you're newer and have no idea what to craft here, please guys, don't mess this up. This is your chance to craft a perfect piece of gear. They've never done anything like this. It's even better than the Artena crafting event. You get to choose the exact piece of gear, main stat, substats, and you get to roll those substats yourself, which means this is going to be a guaranteed 17 speed piece of gear if you want it. So my recommendation, I'll give you a hint on what I talked about in my video, is pick any piece. I would recommend like ring, but as long as you pick a universal set, if you're not sure, I would go with something like speed set or penetration set and pick a offensive or DPS hero. Focus everything into speed so you get to the 17 speed, focus the rest in crit, and then pick up some other substats like attack, percent, and crit damage, or whatever else it is, depending on which piece you roll, right? Ring will be attack, percent, main stat, necklace, crit damage, percent, main stat, etc. But go ahead and just check out my video if you need help. If you don't, just be careful, guys. Make sure you take the best advantage. Take your time thinking who really needs this, and if you don't know who yet, just pick something very universal, okay? That's all. Next up, guys, draft mode update, which is very good. Draft mode I really liked. It just didn't have a lot of heroes. It had barely any heroes, and some of the heroes were very overpowered, like Ran. They just, when they were super fast, plus had really good gear, it felt oppressive depending on who you pick. But now they add more heroes, and it looks like they're changing the equipment and stats too. So that's very good. Draft mode might be an even more fun mode now that they added this. We just need a rank queue system, or a queue system in general. Following that, we have the Book of Memories, right? Not much to talk about here. After that, here's the August balance adjustment. Very minor patch, guys. Don't worry too much about this. Don't forget, though, Mort is going to be on the banner with Moonlight Landy. So if you are pulling for ML Landy this week, Mort is the 5-star hero. You might want to pick him up. After these buffs, he's going to be even more consistent. And with how control has been uprising in this meta recently, Mort's immunities to some of the debuffs is very strong. Lionheart Sermia 2 is probably the biggest winner of the patch. Damage increase plus combat readiness push, and also she's just fitting even better into this meta because of certain units that can proc her. I think she's going to be a strong unit as well. Moving right along, we don't need to talk about the artifacts. Very minor stuff. Guild Wars season, not much to talk about there. Bazaar, skip this banner at all costs, right? And then last but not least, guys, here's the surprise pickup. We have the Landy. Now, I thought they were going to run a custom group summon maybe after the collaborations, but they're straight up just bringing this banner alongside the Guilty Gear stuff. So we're going to be flooded with limited units, guys. If you don't own Landy, oh my goodness, you're going to have to choose between the Guilty Gear characters, Landy, and then upcoming next week is the ReZero characters as well. So you have your hands full in deciding. Try to hustle. Shop refresh like crazy. Pick up all the extra Skystones from Arena, from Abyss, whatever you can do, guys. If you're free to play, hustle, grind. Get as many bookmarks as you can. And we'll talk about the pros and cons because, unfortunately, you won't be able to get everything unless you are insanely lucky. Last but not least is Navy Captain Landy. So let's start with this. I'll say this, guys. Landy is going to be really strong. But if you're worried about getting imprints for her, this is why they're bringing out the banner, right? She's a limited, Landy's a limited unit, so they need to bring out the banner with her. Otherwise, you can't get the pirate captain, or excuse me, the naval captain Landy imprints without having a limited banner Landy running at the same time. Now, that's okay. Don't worry about it, guys. If you already own a Landy and you just want Navy Captain Landy, don't pull for imprints, guys. Instead, if you're missing a Guilty Gear character, I would go for that instead, okay? Imprints obviously are nice. They give a power boost, and the first one is the biggest stat boost, most efficient. However, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinion, having a character that can round out your account pool is way better. And don't forget too, even if you think Elfelt is not in the greatest spot, she might get an exclusive equipment, she might get a buff. It's better to pick up a new hero than get a single imprint for your character, right? For a stat boost, a minor stat boost overall. So just a heads up, pick up Landy if you don't have her. Very good unit, but don't get her just for imprints. There's going to be another custom group banner coming probably before the end of the year. On top of that, these the non-collaboration limiteds like Landy come around more often than the collab units, okay? So I would prioritize, if you already have Landy, don't get this just for imprints. This is definitely whale territory, okay? Now, last but not least, I'm going to quickly go over the Guilty Gear units, and I'll probably make a dedicated video for this, but let's pull up that poster real fast. If you guys are already starting to wonder who you're going to spend your bookmarks on, Let's start left to right. We have Baiken, who I would definitely skip unless she gets a complete rework or like some crazy buffs and an exclusive equipment. I don't think she'll become more than just a Banshee farmer. She is the queen of Banshee, so don't let me put any disrespect on her name. But in terms of farming Banshee, one-shotting it, you can use the free unit that you're going to get next week from the ReZero collaboration, Ram. So Baiken, guys, unless you really love her, I would skip on her if you need to really penny pinch your bookmarks. Dizzy. Now, this one is also one you could potentially skip, but if she gets any kind of buff, any exclusive equipment, guys, she used to be such a powerful unit. She still is. There's just other units that can, you know, people prefer right now for consistency. She doesn't have her own strip, but let's say she gets a strip exclusive equipment, she would be insane, boys. So I would try to pick her up if you value PvP. She has a lot of uses in general, but with how unique she is, if she gets any sort of love, she might be insane. So don't sleep on her, but, you know, right now she isn't in the best spot. Jacko, however, is the probably best overall pick of the collab, of both collaborations. She just got buffed. She's very, very strong in PvP right now if you play that cleave sort of style. So she's probably your main one if your priority is PvP. Soul Bad Guy is free, and Elfelt's not listed here, but Elfelt also mostly a PvP unit and isn't as good as Jacko. They fulfill similar different roles, but Elfelt isn't quite as good. She probably wants an exclusive equipment or a little bit of buffs to be more in line with other units of her style, that opening role. We'll go over the ReZero stuff when we get to it, guys, but I know it's rough here. So many limited characters. Just do what you can. Hit me up with specific questions. And later this week, guys, if you want to ask questions as well, I'll be pulling for Landy on Thursday. Come hang out. We'll summon. We're going to play nonstop RTA games with her. And we'll see if she's all that, you know, she's cracked out to be. So come hang out. Ask me any questions on any of the summons. I'm sorry if you're new or returning player and you're free to play. Epic 7 used to be a very free to play friendly game, but this is crazy. They're even adding Landy now. So many limiteds. Pick and choose. That's just how it is. Best of luck. And I'll catch you all in the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, everybody.